Okay, but I do want to say, first of all, let's see who has memory of Friday. Am I stamping today? No, why not? Yeah, because I wasn't sure how long this was going to take, and I want to go slow on complete square. Excellent job. Okay, did anybody do the homework because I forgot what I said? Well, that's a fine thing too, because then you won't have double homework tonight. Okay, never anything wrong with doing homework. Okay, first thing I want to ask you is, what are the answers to this question? So when I complete the square on this, what should the answers be? You can tell from looking at the screen without actually doing any of the math. Oh, that might be the first step if you were going to do quad formula or factor. But what are the answers to the problem? Yes. Nope. What are the answers? Hold on. What are the answers to the problem? Yes, Sophia. 2 and -8. Okay. What I was trying to show you is that we did this problem by factoring and the answers were 2 and -8. We did this problem by quad formula. The answers were 2 and -8. So when we solve this by complete the square, the answer should be 2 and -8. Now, did I have to make a big old flare pen mark on my paper over it? No. Okay. So x squared plus 6x equals 16. Okay, now I love Gio's point. He said minus 16. To complete the square is actually the only time where you want the constant to be on this side. Mr. Guinan says you're going to mess with stuff over here, so move the constant out of the way. Get it out of there. So you want to start with it like this. The next one we do, you guys are going to do in your groups. It is actually going to be equal to 0, and you're going to have to move the constant over. So we're going to say step 1, make sure constant. Do you guys know what I mean when I say constant, like the C term? Make sure the constant is on the other side. This one's already like that. The 16 is already on the other side. Step 2. Okay, now this is where I'm going to deviate maybe from Guinan and Miceli. I'm going to do complete the square with completing the square. I know you're like, what does that mean? I'm not going to just take the 6 and cut it in half and square it. I'm going to actually complete a square. If you want to take the 6 and cut it in half and square it, because that's what you learn, that's totally fine. But I'm going to do a box. And maybe you'll like my method after you see it once. Maybe you'll hate it. I don't know. But I don't really care. You don't have to do it this way. Okay, now what we need to know is most of the time we call this a generic I call it a box. Its real name is a generic rectangle. It doesn't have to be a perfect square. In this particular type of problem, though, it does. So what we do is we take the x squared and we put it there. So x squared tile goes there. And then the 6x tiles get broken up into 2 equal amounts. The reason is because we need this thing to be an actual square. So this side needs to equal this side, I'm saying. Okay. Then we factor. So what's the greatest common factor of the top 2 boxes here? X. Beautiful. So x plus 3 plus 3. So what does the last box have to be? Yep, plus 9. I was just doing it in a different color. Okay, now, Guinan Miceli people, They probably taught you to take the b term, cut it in half and square it. And that would give you 9. I'm not going to do that. So just so you know, you're not crazy if that's what you learned. It's the same thing. I just like to do it visually. Okay, anyway, step 3. Add constant to both sides. Okay, so what that means is I'm going to plus 9, plus 9. X squared plus 6x plus 9 equals 25. Okay. Step 4. Factor the perfect square trinomial. Isn't that a fancy name? The perfect square trinomial is right here. That's x squared plus 6x plus 9. That means factor that. And you can factor with a diamond and box, except for the fact that the box is already made for you right over here. You see how beautiful it is? Okay, so this factors to x plus 3 squared. I need everyone to pause and understand where I got that x plus 3 squared from. Do you see where it came from? Are you sure? In about 5 minutes, are you going to say, but what happened to the 6x, Mrs. Talbot? The 6x is right here. It didn't go anywhere. It's right there. It just factors into this. You guys sure? You're sure? You're sure? I'm going to do the SpongeBob thing. Are you sure? You're sure? You're sure? Are you sure? You're sure? You're sure? You're sure? Okay. And then last, we solve by square roots, which is why we've been doing that in the warm-ups to get us ready for complete square. I'm actually going to rewrite the problem down here because just to make it look pretty. Don't forget your plus or minus. Remember, if we did quad formula, there would be a plus or minus in there. Okay, so original problem. Sometimes it's equal to 0. If it's equal to 0, which your next one's going to be, move the constant to the other side. Use a box or this to complete the square. I don't care which. Add the constant to both sides, which was my 9s. Factor the perfect square trinomial. That's the reason I use the box, is because then the factoring is all set up for you. Then solve by square roots. Any questions about these notas? Okay, now if you guys could find a new spot, if you haven't found, if you did this in your old notes, now find a new spot in your notebook. Man, done some stuff here. So how often do you get nice, clean whole numbers in a quadratic formula or completely square? It's not super often. That one was kind of a baby one, which is fine. So what I want you guys to do is just write this down. And then I want you to do just A and only A. I haven't talked about B at all yet. Do you see how it's y equals? It's different. I want you guys to try A in your group. I'm going to put up the steps in a moment. But remember, first thing you need to do is move that 7 over before you follow the steps from your notes. Sorry if you have to flip back and forth from your notes, but I want you guys to give A a go, and then don't do anything with B yet. We haven't gone over that. You definitely talk about it though. Avery and I are gonna come around and help. Leave it in the exact form, please, if you finish quickly. It's really not easy. Okay, there's your first little bit of it. I moved the 7 over and then started my box. You guys are all fine. I'm happy. I'm happy. The complete square is still in there. We need a lot of lots. Okay, there's your next set of stuff. I added 9 to both sides. Kind of unfortunate that it's the same exact number as the notes. That's fine. And then negative 7 plus 9 is 2. We get this far. All of them we just do. We just waiting for the teaching. Because we all know how to complete the score. I guess I could have just taken a nap this morning. Okay, not in the next one though. Don't fall asleep on me. Okay. I factored, square rooted. How are we doing? Don't forget the plus and minus. And then mathematical etiquette says you put the -3 in front. So your answers are -3 plus √2 and -3 minus √2. And that should feel kind of like a quad formula thing, like a -b plus or minus blah, blah, square root. Okay. Any questions about any of this? It's totally okay to ask, because the next thing is spicy. It's gonna get spicy, and then it's gonna get easy again. The middle of the class is spicy. Maybe not, I don't know. This was easy for you. What do I know? Never seen a circle before in our lives, but this, easy. I'm done guessing. Okay, do you guys all have this written down with space? Okay, we're gonna come back to that. We're doing this in a weird order. Okay, do you guys recognize this as complete square? You know what this is? It's completing the square. Do you remember we did the long way earlier? When I say the long way, this particular one, this is as spicy as this would get. I picked the worst possible scenario for the note. The one that I gave you, guys, to do in your groups is much, much easier. I don't know what happened. One sec, one sec, one sec, one sec, one sec, one sec. Okay. All right, so this is really hard, so guys, don't suggest falling apart right now. Now's not the time. Okay. Step 1. Move the constant to the other side. It's going to feel really weird moving the constant to the other side. Because you can't subtract anything from f of x, really. So we're going to minus 11. And this is literally just going to be f of x minus 11. Feels weird, I know. Step 2. Is to divide by a if necessary. This one has an a value of 3. The one that I gave you to do in your groups does not, it has an a value of 1, so you get to skip this step. But I wanted to do the spiciest possible. So divide by 3, divide by 3, divide by 3. So now you have f of x minus 11 all over 3 equals x squared plus 4x. I like to describe this as like, you guys ever like do a deep clean of your room? Like a super deep, never? I highly recommend. Okay, so your room is up there, it's all messy. So first you like move the bed out, and then you move like the dresser out, and now you've just gotten down to the carpet. Now you're gonna clean the carpet, and then what do? We put the stuff back. So I get everything out on the porch, basically. I'm calling the left side of the equation the porch. Put everything out there. I'm gonna clean and then put everything back. Okay, now how do we clean this? Well, we do complete the square. Okay, so over here, however you like to complete the square, I like to do it, I don't know, with a square. How crazy. I care about it a lot, actually. So, you know. Okay, what does the constant have to be? 4. And I will admit, the porch is going to look bad for a little while we're taking care of things inside the room. But you know, you just piled everything out there. Okay, do you all see where the x plus 2 squared came from? Are you nervous about where the 4x went? It's there. It's, what? Oh, well, I want to take the square root, and I can't take the square root unless it's a perfect square. So it's got to be something squared.
Yeah.
This is just factored. Like, just pretend that I diamond and boxed that. Yes, dear. I'm going to subtract the 4 right next step. I'm not done. Okay, then step 5 is, oh, I see what you mean. I don't like that. You can do it that way. Totally fine. I don't like it. It requires too much thought because then you have to balance out what's in the, yeah. You do you though. You do you. Okay, so what do I mean by put everything back? Get f of x back by itself. So -4. Okay, order of operations, what's next? I want to get f of x by itself. Yeah, multiply both sides by 3. And it's very specific. If you're using a different color, you have to put 3 times in front here and 3 times the constant. Mhm. Again, as I said, this problem is worst case scenario. This is as tough as this would ever get. I did it on purpose for the notes, just so that if you got the super bad one, you could follow your notes through. The one that you guys are gonna do in your groups right now is B at the top, and it's quite a bit easier. Do you guys see why it's easier? There's no 3 in front. So yes, honey. Absolutely. This is a math 2 problem, hon. I'm sorry to tell you. This should have been on math 2 tests. It was, okay. It is as spicy as this would ever get, this particular thing. I'm hoping that math 2 teachers put some spicy things on tests. Okay, so you guys are gonna do B. Couple of things. First, this one doesn't have a 3 in front, much easier. Also, notice I use Y instead of f of x. That shouldn't throw you off. Just first step is -9. And then that side is gonna be Y -9. F of x and Y are interchangeable. All right, there's my first step. I minus 9 from both sides and got y minus 9 equals x squared plus 4x. And then I started my square. So it's here. So what I'm assuming is, did you have the factor 3 out in front of the first two, leave the 11 out there, and then take the 4, cut it in half and square it, and then you have to add it and then subtract it because it's on the same side. Does that sound right? So then you have to add 4 here and then minus 12 because you have to never remember to multiply it by the 3. Do you want me to show you what I'm saying? Okay. Don't write this. Don't write this, guys. I'm just talking to Mr. Knight's previous students real quick. Don't, if what I did makes sense to your brain, don't override it, but this is what I'm thinking, he said. Huh, right? And then wait. Right? Does that look right so far? And then minus 11. What did I do wrong? I can't even do it right. Okay, hold on. Did I write? Oh, I wrote the problem down wrong. Ha. Okay, I got it. Sorry, I wrote the problem down wrong. Do you like that better, Sophia? You go with it. Go with it if you like it. I have no issue with it other than apparently I can't do it properly. But kidding. Okay. I just wrote the problem down wrong. Okay, so this has to be 4. So I have y minus 9 equals, oh no. Add 4. Did I get it? Did anyone else get the same thing as me? Yes? Okay. So on this one, you would have just added 4 and minus 4. Your way's faster when there's not a leading coefficient. Okay. So that bit's done. Now we need to do the circle. I heard some of you whispering about the circle. The last bit of complete the square is complete the square for the circle. It's not hard. Yes.
We did standard the graphing, but we never graphed.
We can graph it if you want to.
Oh, no, it's okay, but I was just saying.
I was just kind of hoping that you could graph it off of the graphing form.
This,
Okay, so like for example, Connor's point, which is a good point. Take a look at this and tell me the vertex.
well,
But the answer is you have no idea.
yeah,
You can't tell the vertex from standard form. That's the problem with it. You can tell the y-intercept very easily is 11. Okay, but do all this work. Now tell me the vertex. -2, -1. And then you can also tell that the next 2 points next to the vertex are going to be up 3/1 in each direction, and you could make your U shape. This is 1,000 times easier to graph than the other one. That's the point. That doesn't mean that I want to do it right now, but we could if we wanted to. Okay, last bit. We can graph this last one for Connor if we want to.
is that more?
Oh, yeah. It's not bad though, because it's a circle. Okay, last one of the day. Tonight, kids can tell me how they did this one. If you didn't move the constants the other side, it probably got spicy. Because it's a circle.
Wait, did we have to solve for both? One.
It's a complete the square problem like the other ones. We did.
Did you complete it 2 times?
Uh-huh. It's called double complete the square. It's not hard though, I promise. It's not nearly as bad as the last one, I don't think.
Not the last one.
It's not. This one isn't as bad. Okay. Step 1. Group the x's. Group the y's. And move the constant. Step 1. Group the x's. Group the y's. And move the constant. Okay, what I mean by that is take the x squared and the 4x and group them together in parentheses. So this is grouping the x's. Please stop talking. Thank you. Group the y's. And then move the constant over. I'll probably never do that 2 steps again, but because I'm sure you guys can all minus 11 in your head. But it's notes. Okay, so that's kind of what you want your setup to be. Okay, now we're going to double complete the square. Okay, so in this box, I have x squared, and then my 4x tiles, I'm gonna break into 2x and 2x. And my constant for the x's is going to be 4. In this box, I have y squared, and I'm going to split my -8y tiles into -4y and -4y. But that's okay because my constant is still going to be positive. Add the 4 into this parentheses, add the 16 into this parentheses, and then make sure to do the same thing to both sides. Okay, now we're not going to graph this, but I do want to state the center of this circle would be -2, +4. And the radius would be the square root of 9, which is 3. Okay, real quick, I have a joke for you. I don't know of its actual funniness, but we will see. So, here we go. Today, we're reviewing completing the square. Oh, geez, we already did it. We did problems 231 to 35, except for we skipped 33. I don't even know what 33 was. We did the other ones, though. The homework is the chapter 2 review assignment. It's in your packet. It's due on the block day, so there's 2 nights of it. And this is my joke. It's the hypotenuse.
Oh. That's pretty good.
See, it's even labeled on the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse. Sokotoa joke. For you. I don't know why I couldn't find a complete the square joke. Maybe there isn't one. You guys should come up with one or find one and send it to me.